So she packs up her stuff and grabs the cash that she's found, then hitches a ride to the next stoplight town.
Well, folks, that was Work of Art, brand new single by Leanne Brumfitt as well, who's on the line now. How you doing, Leanne?
I'm good, thank you. Hi.
Hi, yep, and like I said, it's a great single. I've been playing it a couple of times now, and there's been good feedback on it. How did it all come about? What was the theory behind it?
Actually, I was driving on the school run, the afternoon school run, and I was almost at the school, and the line, "She's got an iron heart," just popped into my head, and I was like, "Oh, I like that." So when I stopped, I just picked up my phone and just recorded that, and then forgot about it. And then I was looking at, iron heart, like the meaning. Could it be something that's like she's really strong, or could it mean like she's not that nice, or she's got a bit of a devilish side about her? So I had a little bit of a play about, and I really love storytelling, and that's definitely my style of writing. It's definitely a country thing, but so I just kind of went from there. So I'd pretty much got the chorus together and how it was going to sound, and then I was like, right, okay, what does she look like? How does it start? How does she get up every morning? How does her day go? And I just imagined this whole story, and that's work of art. That's how it was.
Yeah.
That's how it came
about. Like any kind of story, it's got to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, doesn't it? At the end of the day, but it's just finding those little golden nuggets, like what country music is all about. Phrases, little different meanings of, like say, an iron heart. But like you say, you've opened the Pandora's box in a way by saying, okay, what does that look like? Why is that? And that is pretty much good storytelling and good songwriting.
Oh, thank you very much. There was actually it did say it's a fine work of art, as in, like what she does, her craft, in a way. And it was my son, my eldest son, he's 14, Ryan, and he just went, yeah, but you've said she's all the way through the chorus, so you need to say she's a fine work of art. And I was like, mate, that's genius. Yeah, just a simple thing like that. I just didn't think of it. So yeah, that's how she's a fine work of art came about.
And whereabouts are you from?
I currently live in Little Sutton, so it's just on the edge of the Wirral, in Ellesmere Port. So I grew up in Ellesmere Port, so I've been here all my life.
Brilliant. Cheshire Oaks and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great place for anyone apart from anybody who lives near it.
I mean, I can't opposite your house. But no, I live in St Helens myself, so it's not too far away from there.
Yeah.
And there many a time. Yeah. I was trying to work out your accent, and I thought it's a Chester kind of thing going on around there. There's a mixture. You see people who said the Wirral, because obviously they sort of changed it to Cheshire postcode, didn't they? Because they said they didn't want to have the L postcode like Liverpool or anything like that. So they said, oh, we're having a CH. We're having the CH postcode because we've got indoor plumbing, we've got hot and cold running water. We're not like Liverpool.
Yeah, that was a while ago. And then I think they're actually looking at changing it back. I heard rumours about it. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know whether or not that will reach right the way down to me in Little Sutton, but definitely up along the Wirral there.
Absolutely. Uproar. I can believe there'll be picket lines everywhere. But how did it all start for you? I mean, obviously, you haven't just sort of come and I wrote my first song. Obviously, I always said it's like an iceberg in the water. You see the tail end of the tip of the iceberg, but underneath it, that's where all the dues have been paid and all that kind of thing. So how did it all start for you?
Oh, from the very beginning. I was about 3 years old. My uncle, who lived in Liverpool, my auntie and uncle, my uncle had a stroke, so he was in a nursing home we used to go and visit him every Saturday. And I was raised with my nan and granddad. So I used to go with my nan and granddad. And I just one day stood on a table in the middle of, like the communal area. And I only have like tiny flashback memories of this, but I just started singing at the top of my lungs and just made my very own concert there. And I loved it. I honestly, since I could talk, singing was my thing. I live for it. So yeah, and I was going, I got told off because I went up to all the residents that were asleep trying to make them clap their hands. And then I got back up and I was bowing and I was, and waking them up. So I got escorted out of there. It was probably a nice way of booing me off the stage when I was 3. And then, so my nan was very into Patsy Cline, so we listened to a lot of that, and we used to have this little cassette tape recorder, and she used to record me singing along all the time. And I think there's still one of those cassette tapes somewhere in my granddad's house. And so yeah, it was always kind of very big. No one ever really performed, but they just loved the love of music. And then when I was in primary school, I joined a choir, and we were lucky enough to perform for Queen Elizabeth II and in Cheshire Oaks when she came to visit. So that was massive. And yeah, and then it kind of dropped out a little bit. I was a painfully shy teenager. The only thing that anybody could actually say, like anybody who knew me in school, was too shy. It was just the way I was. And then I had my son when I was 20, my first son. And I remember speaking to someone. I still, like sang in front of a couple of people, and like constantly practiced, and I was writing and things like that. And I remember speaking to somebody, and I remember them saying, if you want to do it, you want to be successful, you need to give up everything else, because it takes everything. And at the time, Ryan was just a baby, and I thought, I don't know if I can, as a mum, do that. That would be so unfair. So about 5 or 6 years ago, I actually met with a local vocal coach, Sarah Kinsey, and I went in and I just said, I'm if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it.
Yeah.
I need to. I'm fine on what I can do. I know what I'm capable of. I need to have some sort of confidence about me, because I feel like I've lost it. I feel like it's just gone. And she worked with me for about a year, maybe a bit longer. And then I joined a band called Wideball. So Rob Thomas made that band, and so I just started singing vocals with them, and and got out, and I absolutely loved it. Every single minute of it. I think you'll know yourself as a performer, even when you are feeling quite ropey sometimes, and then when you get up on stage, it's like it just disappears, and you just feel great. And then afterwards you get home and go, oh my word, I was ill. I'm still ill, but it's like the adrenaline takes over. And it's such a good feeling. And I think I knew then that I don't ever want to do anything else.
And what I mean, from the songwriting side of it, when was that evident within your capabilities? When did you think, oh, I can actually write here?
Well, I was writing from even when I was little. I used to like with friends in the street, and we made like a little girl group. I was always constantly wanting people to sing, and I'd write songs and make them learn them, and we'd sing and things like that. But they were, little ones. But so it was when in lockdown, when it like I wasn't able to go out and perform, and I didn't have a guitarist behind me or anything like that. I actually just picked up a guitar and went, no, I'm going to play for myself, and I've got so many songs here, and I want to create the music for them. And then I think as I did that, the songs progressed as well because I could hear them. So at first they were lyrics on a sheet, but then once I was actually able to put an instrument to them, I was able to tweak them a little bit and just make them sound better. So just having the ability to do that. And I go out and do solo gigs with a guitar now. So it's it's kind of progressed really quickly.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, you can put words down on a paper, but if you haven't got that melody, sort of line going, that music. I mean, I wrote some songs, and for me, I've got a basic idea, but I have to keep listening over the melody.
Yeah.
And the phrasing comes from, for me anyway, it's like that line's a bit too long. I need to shorten it by doing this and doing that. And because the melody, and I mean, I love a good, strong honky tonk kind of beat me. That's my vibe.
I love honky. I am so desperate to write a honky tonk song. And I'm in the middle of writing one now. I haven't put the sound to it, but I am so desperate. I love that sound.
I think it's more of a 90s sort of kind of vibe, isn't it? And 90s is I think people said, oh, it's a resurgence. It's never went away, really. I mean,
No.
I know people and myself, I mean, my sets, there's full of 90s covers, and people who relate to that, they'll go, oh, yeah, I remember that. And it's standard test of time, Dwight Yoakam, Alan Jackson, all that kind of stuff.
They're classic.
Oh, it's classic. I wrote one, did I write? And one a great singer-songwriter friend of mine in Nashville, Ed Hill, I sent it to him. I said, what do you think, mate? I said, I'm not after a record deal because that time's passed for me. But I said, I just want to know if I'm on the right track. And he said, Dwight Yoakam would be all over this. He said, it's that kind of vibe. And it was called, and I used to work in Liverpool, right? And the listeners have listened to this before, so I apologize to them. But I worked opposite this girl in an insurance company in Formby. And she always came in nice jewelry, nice dress, and every day she always dressed to the nines kind of thing. And I said to her one day in a passing quip, I just said, your guy must be well off. She said, no. She said, I've got champagne taste, but he's got lemonade money. And I thought, I'm having that. Like you was on about putting that in and you straight to my phone was awash of notes on the notepad of different phrases and things like that, and that's how it was based around that.
Oh, fantastic. There's it does, and it comes to you. I think I watched, I think it was a reel by Amelia Quinn, when she did.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic writer.
And mate of mine. Yep.
Oh, and she did a reel where she was like, what happens in the middle of the night, and you wake up. Honestly, I have so many videos on my phone where I've had an idea or I've dreamt about it, and then without trying to wake anybody up, I've done a quick video and you can't understand a word I'm saying. I'm trying to do that. I'm too tired to type, and it's just gibberish. I'm like, that was a really good idea.
In fact, that could be a song.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, talking gibberish, and everybody around America go, what's gibberish? But no, I tell you what, before I forget, don't forget, you've got to do this now. This cassette that you've got when you were younger, that needs to be preserved, because when you become famous, it could be the lost tapes. It's there. It's
oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The lost tapes.
Yeah, I think I haven't had an actual cassette player for a while.
Oh, I don't think anybody wants something.
I know. I don't think it's. I haven't been able to listen to it or anything like that. I need to invest in one. Good old cassette tape. Buy
them all, can't you? All these all-in-one LP. You can put your USB stick in a CD. You've got a disc and all that.
Yeah, I've still got my old record player. Those really. Oh, they had the same one. And have you seen Daisy Jones and the Six? No. Oh, it's a new program. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, it's got a sort of Fleetwood Mac kind of vibe to it. Is it something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good show, and I'm rewatching it currently. They had the same record player in it, and I was just like, wow.
My record player that I had this Sony one my mum and dad bought me. At the time, it was like the bee's knees.
Yeah,
It's on the sideboard of one of the cast members in one of the houses in Emmerdale. Go figure. You know,
it's really crazy, isn't it? When you see things on telly and you're like, I own that. You know, like different bits of crockery and
know.
things. I think I had the same cup as someone in the Sons of Anarchy, and they'd lifted it, and I was like, it is. Look, it's got the same brand.
So, from this single, then, what's coming around the corner? I mean, are you going to do an EP album, or just go straight into an album, or what's going on?
I've got another single that's being recorded at the moment.
Okay.
We're working on that tomorrow in the studio, and yeah, that's an exciting one. It's more of a I've got two, and I think I haven't until I hear them both when they're fully produced. I don't know which one's going to be next.
Okay.
But one of them's quite like a little bit like work of art with that spiky sort of.
Yeah.
I think that's a word you can use. The other one's from more of a personal aspect. I don't write many personal songs, so it's taken me a while to write it. But yeah, I am performing both of those songs next Saturday because this is going to
Saturday.
be.
What's happening next Saturday? Go on, tell us. Go on.
I am supporting Kezia Gill.
Yay!
Yay! Yeah, honestly, she is my favourite artist currently. She has been for a while now. And she's so incredible to watch. And so yeah, I feel really lucky to just have this opportunity actually. And it's at Thornton Huff. I think the tickets went on sale. They sold out in like half an hour.
Yeah.
I was like, of course they did. Of course they did. It's Kezia. So pardon?
Would it be you? Local?
No, I honestly think it's Kezia for this one because I think when we did it, I wasn't that well known, when we'd planned it.
Okay.
So yeah, there are quite a few people going who I know and who have seen me perform, and are happy to see me. But I think the majority of the tickets for Kezia, she's honestly, yeah, I have no words. She's so good. So
with British country music, and again for a number of years now, it's been increasing popularity and quality as well. And I've said this many a time about being in lockdown. People have used that to be better songwriters, get their own equipment in the home, perfect their sound, and basically perfect what path they're on. And Kezia, and I know her management very, very well, and I know Kezia very, very well. And to see her perform at Country to Country this year was unbelievable. I mean, she smashed it last year when she was in the O2, but I with my friends, went to Glasgow this time, and I saw the pre-show that she did, and then she basically jumped in the car, went to the stadium, inside the stadium. Now that is a path that we all know that's there now, because for many, many years people have said, apart from the Shies they've fed bits to the Shies, to be honest, which I don't think is quite right. They've said, go and announce the next artist instead of performing, But she actually went into the Hydro and performed with the Americans. Now that it shows you it can be done.
Absolutely. I think it's been a long time coming for her as well. And I think with lockdown, and we had the Friday night crew, which I'm a member of.
Oh yeah.
Both her, Jade Hallowell as well, they just got us through lockdown. Thursday and Friday nights, that was it. We had our routine. Everything else was out of a routine, but we had those nights, and they were just so good. So yeah, really, really enjoy. And I think it was watching them as well, which made me pick up the guitar more, because I was just like yeah, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to do that. I needed something. I needed to be able to hear what I've written there. So yeah, the very first one that I'd written, when you were talking about how ideas come, and like the idea for songs and things like that, I had a phrase that my nan used all the time. Now my nan passed away 6 years ago, and but she was one of them women that you never forgot once you met her. She was about 4'9", scary as hell, and she just she's like the type of person you don't want to disappoint, or you don't want to make her angry. But she had a saying for everything. You know, like the typical old lady who just had a funny phrase or a saying for everything, and they just kept running through my head. So I wrote them all down, and I've wrote a song, and every single line in that song is one of her phrases, but it all meets. And yeah, I can't wait to just kind of get that out there.
And that helps you as well. It helps you reminisce. And I think if she's looking down now, she'd be like, yeah. And she'd probably come up with a phrase herself then.
I think that she'll go, well, that's great and well done. But there's a little line in that song that says, "A little old lady told me," and I think she'd actually slap me if she knew what I was saying.
If she's only 4 foot tall, she'd probably slap your kneecaps, wouldn't she, really?
Yeah.
But thanks for coming on to the show. I really made up that you've got the single out, and like I said, we'll see a lot more of you, and certainly with regarding to the BC May as well, we'll see a lot more of the festivals and things like that, but we'll speak a little bit. Don't shoot off, but when we've stopped recording, and just have a chat about the festivals and stuff like that. But I want to say a big thank you. Well done for the single, and I can't wait to hear more. And congratulations on Saturday. I know it's going to be a big hit, and I know Kezia very well. She'll probably get you up.
Yeah, honestly, she's so down to earth and lovely as well. So, yeah, she's like an absolute joy to be around. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure to be on.
Okay, you take care and have a great evening.